Hi, welcome to the channel, Budget Audio Review and Upgrades, and today this arrived and I thought I'll share it with you as well because I thought it weren't bad for what I paid for it. I bought this off of AliExpress in China for £20.64 delivered here to the UK. So obviously that can vary country to country, and you know the price could be a pound or two cheaper or dearer depending, but on eBay this is quite a bit more I think, so maybe worth if you're thinking of getting one if you're going through AliExpress. Nothing to do with AliExpress at all, but I've bought quite a few things from there and everything's arrived and you're covered by PayPal, just something to bear in mind. And it's not a fortune maybe to try your very first very first purchase of them or something if you're interested in this kind of thing. I mean, VU meters have been around for years and years and years, the old fashioned ones with the needles, and that's probably the ones I prefer, to be honest with you. But I thought I'd give this LED one a go because there's been quite a few on there recently and there's been a few reviews on eBay, or quite a few reviews of different ones. And I see a little video going of this on their site and it looked fairly responsive. That was the main thing, because there's quite a few that isn't responsive. So what I'm going to do is unplug it and I'm just going to go through a few things of what I thought of it and how it was made and how it responded and maybe how to set it up. And not that it really takes a lot of setting up, to be honest with you. And you probably may not even have to set it up at all. I just wanted to make sure both channels were dead equal, like in line. You weren't favouring one channel against the other. So there's a few little adjustments you can do if you so wish. Right, let me just show you exactly what you get when you buy it. You get the main unit itself. I'll show you a picture there of the front, and there's a picture of the back. So that's the main unit. They don't really give you a lot of it. You don't really need a lot. They give you this little lead, a little 3.5mm to 3.5mm jack lead, and they give you like a little jack adapter. And the idea of this is if you plugged it into your Walkman or something like that and you still wanted your headphones plugged in, you could plug your headphones in here and you could have this plugged into that as well. And that's all they give with you. The other few bits I've got here, I'm going to show you it connected up to a CD player very soon when I do some little adjustments to it, like a normal CD, or through an amplifier should I say. But there is a couple of ways of connecting this. There's obviously more if you're connecting up to your car and other things like that. I mean, once you've made this, once you've got it, should I say, you may want to make a wooden case for it, or buy a wooden case or a metal case or something like that. You go over the car boot, you're going to maybe come across these old jewellery boxes or something like that, or some old teak box that someone's getting rid of. You may want to mount this inside or something like that, put a front on it of some description. But I'll get around to doing something like that eventually, I suppose, and when I do, I'll stick it back up on the channel. But all I've got it running at the moment is just a normal CD player, and just you need a power supply, which I've just got a battery pack here. This is 5-volt battery pack. So you will need 5 volts. You've got the sockets on there. You've got a little mini mini USB, should I say, socket there, and a little phono jack there. So obviously that powers it. But you've also got options here. I will show you a picture close up. Options here, as you can see, of connecting it up physically, like with screws, so to speak, rather than sockets. And that may not be a bad idea if you say you're going to mount this somewhere. You don't want to, for instance, this sticking out the side as well. It's just going to start adding to the length of it and all that. So you could actually wire it up through these, the power's the bottom one and the left and right inputs the top one, little screw terminal, so you can bring the wires back round the side here, so to speak, and a bit more out of the way and a bit more neater, and that'll fit in quite nicely. You've got a couple of adjustments here. I'll go into the adjustments with a little other video as well, but you've got left and right adjustments here, like a bit like a balance control really, just to make sure they're both even, they're both a level kind of, sensitivity, and plus also alter the sensitivity. And what I've found is that I've kind of stopped this, I'll show you in the video, but stopped this on LED 31 with a test tone of 1 kHz playing through a CD player. That seemed to be the best for me, because I noticed when I was playing it through the amplifier, and depending if I was playing a turntable, CD player, etc., some CDs and some records are recorded slightly higher than the others. So I've kind of went through a few bits and pieces I had and found the ones that are a bit louder and kind of adjusted it to them. So when you play it back, you may find, like any VU meter, is that some CDs will go right to the end, so to speak, peak at the end, and some will stop a bit short. But that's just the way it is. But something you could do, if you really wanted to, is once you mounted that inside a case, is have like some little input sensitivity control on the back or something like that. You could maybe finally adjust also. But the main thing I think really is to make sure that both the left and right channel are equal. It's not favouring one channel over the other, because you want it to be fairly accurate. And I found this to be pretty good. I mean, the response going up and down, it's quite responsive, very responsive in fact. So all in all, for £20, it's quite a good little item. So let's just show me now setting it up. We're going to show a few little videos here, me setting it up, me showing you, how it works with a track off of a YouTube library, and will come back to me just for the final thoughts. Okay, hopefully you can see everything. We'll take a close-up picture of these two little adjustment pots here. One's for the left channel, one's for the right channel, and it's just really going to bring them up to you know, a level really. So when you've got like a CD or anything with like just been recorded a little bit on the eye side, it'll peak up about here, somewhere up here towards the end of the LEDs. Obviously, if you've got a slightly lower recording, it'll peak up a little bit lower, but we want to get it as near to the end as possible, so we're using up near enough all the 40 LEDs. So what I'm going to do is adjust these two pots to bring it up, but it's not that easy. So what I've actually done, after a lot of trial and error, I found out using a 1 kHz tone, I've got it going through a CD player into my amplifier, and we're taking up the output, the record output of the tape on the amplifier. Obviously you can plug a CD directly into here through the you know, the headphone socket or the line out or whatever, if you're just using a little mini CD player or something like that, like a portable CD player. But if you're connecting it up to your amplifier or anything, there's a few other ways. There's some screws here which you can connect to as well, but we're just going through this little socket here on the side. Here's my power. There is another power option there as well. Like I say, if you finally mount this somewhere, you may want to use them, tidy it up, etc. But this is really just to show you how to adjust the balance so that both channels are equal. You don't want one being higher than the other or anything like that. And like I say, I found out that peaking at LED 31, just turning that to red. So what I've got is a 1 kHz tone. So if I just play you that, you're going to hear it hopefully. If I turn the amp up, you'll hear that. And I don't think you want to hear that while I'm talking. But after these screws here do adjust quite a bit. They go in and out quite a bit. And obviously as you move it out, the level actually goes down, and as you move it in, the level starts coming up. And like I say, LED 31 flashing like it is the ideal position for me. What I use, you use a little screwdriver, but I find these USB sticks, because they're so thin on one end, they actually fit in there nicely. So as you can see, as I'm adjusting that, I'm adjusting the gain there on that channel, and as you can see then I'm decreasing the gain there. But like I say, I found out that roughly there, try and get both them LEDs flashing for me. 31, like I say, maybe a bit of trial and error for you, but that will get a nice full display when I put a normal track on. So I'm going to do that now. I'm just going to put a copyright free bit of music on, and you'll see them bouncing around, and you know they're fairly accurate, I thought, for what you're paying and everything. It's quite a good little unit, so let's do that. Okay, hopefully that gives you some idea how that actually plays there, and I'm going to show you now what these little switches here change the colours of these LEDs, etc. So let's do that now. Okay, I'm just going to show you briefly what these switches do. There's 8 little dip switches, they're either on or off. It's 4 for each channel. So we'll just change a couple here just to give you an idea. So if we change each channel there, as you can see, the actual display goes from red, and the peak goes to yellow rather than green and red. So we'll put that back to where it, we'll just move this middle one to see if that does anything at all. And that does something a little bit weird, where it shows you one channel doing one thing and the other channel just the LED bobbing up and down. So you know, it depends what you're looking for. That's probably not much use to anyone, I would have thought. So we'll move these ones across and see what that does, and we can change colour of maybe the left channel to the right channel and so forth. So we'll put them back to where they were, and we'll put that back, and we're going to little tinker around with the middle ones, see what they actually do. And yeah, they kind of just flick around. I think basically just changing this here, the VU, as it goes up from green to red, and you can change this NLED from green to yellow, but I will have a bit more tinker around with that. But like I say, there's a few options there. I think if you go 2B2B2B2 on one channel, there's 16 different combinations to come up with, you know, maybe 16 different ways of using it. But I think I probably prefer it as it was out of the box, so to speak, and where most people are going to have it, I think, where it's green and the red's the peak, so to speak. So that's that. I will mount this and put it in a little case at some stage. Right, I hope that kind of explained how I set it up, etc. But I mean, out the box, it was pretty much fine. I just, like I say, I found some records, some CDs kind of peaked quite early, like, you know, I mean, I just wanted to tone it down just a little bit. But I think, you know, if you don't want to do that adjustments and didn't know how to do the 1 kHz tone, I think it's still going to be fine. I think you're still going to be very happy with it, like, you know what I mean? I just like wanted to get it probably near enough perfect, to be honest with you. But yeah, as you can see, I know I'm quite happy with that. For £20, you know, if you're making your first purchase of AliExpress or something like that, you may want to give it a try. Like I say, even if you stuck it in a cardboard box or something and painted it or something like that, you know, it could be a bit of fun, you know, something to have up in your man cave. Maybe not so much if you're into like the old retro hi-fi, you know, talk about the 60s and 70s, like you're probably going to be one of these if you wanted to meet a VU person, like with the actual needles, etc. But for the money here, you know, I think it's pretty good. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video. Until the next one, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.